Hello, everybody. You are not going the right way. See? See what he did? There you go. Follow your home. Do it. Do it. Thank you. So welcome, everybody, back to Space Engineers. I've done some stuff off camera. I did this. I don't know if it really helped. Let's try to funnel and block the ores as they go towards there, so that they wouldn't spray out as much. It's still not ideal because ores can still fly directly out. But someone had mentioned, like when we dug a tunnel, if we dug a little jet to the side or zigzag it a little bit, we could control the speed of the ores that way. And that's a very good point. So I came in here and Hi, Moeller. I came in here to do some work. I mined out a bit. I also blasted open this way. Wow, look at that. Oh, there's some ores right there. I was like, what are those? What's that stuff I'm seeing? That's a lot of ore. Why don't we do... Looks like this guy's on. And I've got his lights on, and they're not killing me too badly. No, yes they are. They're terrible. Okay, so grab ball. Let's do what you guys were saying. Well, we'll do it rudimentally. Instead of adding another gravity sphere gen, I'm just going to turn this one up so that it is stronger. And we should, keyword should, if I remember where we were looking, if it has the range. Let's go ahead and turn it on. I don't know if we, let's see here. Gravity, show on HUD. Gravity. It might not reach. Oh, look at that. It's just outside. Okay, so let's increase that. Spherical. Let's make the radius, let's try 75. Nope. Let's try a lot more than 75. Let's go up to 90. There we go. It should be in range. Now, grab ball, spherical gravity. Now that should pull, should it not? Why are you guys not moving? Where's gravity? Gravity's that way. Towards the grav gen. Is there still more pulling it away? Oh, no, there we go. We just had to touch them. And they're off. Is that all of them? I think so. And then... Oh, okay, here's a good example of what we want this to do. Oh. Kind of. Why did it shoot off? I guess the linear one kind of launched it. But ideally, we want it all to siphon here and then get launched out towards the front, which it's kind of doing. Okay, but anyway. Let's go ahead. Now, if we turn that down, these guys should have another chance to get picked up. I think he's supposed to be at 2. You're at 3, and I think the other one is at 2.5 maybe. Alright, so that'll give this another shot to get picked up. I'll just go ahead and turn the lights off on this thing. Save us some frameage. 26. We're nowhere near 60, but we're closer. Molar, I'm not sure why your drills are on and nothing else is. I was manually using him a little bit to get some nickel, because we don't have a lot of nickel, and as far as I can tell, this is the only nickel deposit in our entire asteroid, but that might not be the case, at least the most significant one. However, that might not be an issue any longer. So, new update dropped. Merry Christmas to us from Keen. Moeller, stay. Stay right there. I brought Tortwick in here to install... I kind of moved some stuff around in this guy, but I also installed an ore detector and set it to relay through the antenna. So what that means is we can still see where the ores are without having to have a drill in our hand or be in a drill ship. And we could turn that off too if we want to. So let's go ahead. We can turn these guys off. We could turn that off too, or we could just toggle that, but I guess we'll do that. Not sure how much power that draws, if any. Oh, a few rocks stuck right there. Silicone, that's okay. Alright, we should probably bring Tortwing out. Yes, let's do that. So today is going to be a fairly low-key episode. I did some work, though, so we'll go take a look at that up top. But we could talk about the exploration. Is this the way out? This doesn't seem like the way out. I mean, it does, but that seems like a really tight fit. But we made it. So exploration mode is out. As far as I can tell, it only affects new worlds. So we are still alone in this one. We have our lonesome asteroid with nothing else. But we have options. So I suspected this would come, and I figured when it did, we would just take our builds. Oh god, if I almost smashed into the asteroid. We could take our ships and just import them into a new world. So that's probably what we'll end up doing, if you guys are okay with that. It would mean we'd probably have to abandon this asteroid, as I'm not sure if I can copy it over anymore. I know you used to be able to use Space Engineer's Toolbox by Midspace, but I believe since they changed the asteroid information, that program can no longer copy the asteroid information. So we might have been able to use that to copy this asteroid into the new world, but I don't know if we can anymore. So if that is the case, we would have to abandon it, or I could try to recreate this asteroid in the new world, or we could just use that opportunity to start our exploration. So ideally, we'd want to get the ship mobile so that we could take off and go exploring. And we could just stop at any asteroid we see fit, and from there on we could travel from asteroid to asteroid, picking and choosing the ores that we want to get. So yeah, we have options available, and you can guys let me know what you guys think. Alright, so we got Chip done. He did not have his blueprint, even though it was part of him. It just didn't get added at all. He was missing that and a gyro. Those blocks didn't get placed. But otherwise, I think for the most part, he's built now. And he's 100%. And I used his onboard projector to finish some stuff. So once he was done, I turned on his projector and welded him a bit more. So I think he's good to go. And I was thinking we could possibly put some guns on him instead of the mining, which I think I mentioned. So we could try doing that. But for now, we'll keep him. So there's our ores. I also upped the item limit. You guys, or someone said they were seeing some ores despawn. I wasn't sure. I'd seen some despawn, like, on the outer orbits, the big orbits. I'd seen some despawn inside the asteroid, typically when they got stuck on stuff. But I wasn't sure how much we were losing. But I upped it anyway, just to be safe. It's not too big of a deal. As far as I'm concerned in this game, ores are unlimited for the most part. So if we're losing them, it's not too bad. As long as we are still collecting enough of them, I guess. Because our limitation is just how much we can store anyway, not so much what's down there. So as it is, I can't run Molar all the time anyway, because we just simply can't store and process and use that much resources that quickly. So on that, with that, it doesn't really matter. If we could run Molar all the time and we were starving for ores, then those ones that are disappearing would matter more. But since we have enough anyway, and we should always have enough, theoretically, we should be good. Okay, let's take a look around. Hey, we have gravity. Woo! Crooked gravity. I moved the med bay yet again. I don't think this will be its permanent location. I just needed somewhere to put it. I am trying to standardize the pathway so that we can just freely kind of use it throughout the station without too much thought. Just kind of, this is how it goes together. If you're going down, you're going up, etc., etc. So I kind of liked what we had going over here. And I liked the idea of this that we did with the glass down the middle. I didn't like how it met up with this thing. And I also didn't think the single stairwell matched up anymore. If we had a 3-wide one here, we should keep it, like I said, kind of standard. So if this is what we're using there, we should also try to use it here. So I pushed the staircase back. Oh, that's funny. We can't walk up this because the gravity's pulling us. Okay. I would like to do some stuff with gravity. And people had mentioned maybe, like, instead of always making this down, you could make up, down, and stuff like that. I'd like to try to do some of that stuff in here. It's a little tricky with the gravity gens. They're kind of... I mean, you could do straight down and you can do straight sideways, but to make it like contour to the ship, like it'd be nice if this was, if we could walk up this, and then as we got up here, we'd get the other way. I'm not sure. We might be able to mess around with a spherical gravity generator in the middle pushing outwards. That doesn't necessarily interfere down below. Or, like, it doesn't go down far enough anyway. So that might be one way to kind of counteract the pull of that one, maybe a bit, even though it would be in a totally different location. Anyway, we could play around with that. Other stuff I did was over here. I kind of liked what I had going with these things jetting out, but I wasn't completely sold on it. So I expanded it. I'd made it a bit bigger. I'm still not really sure. Oops. One thing, these do not look good dark. I don't like how it has that contrast, but we could do that. And I think you guys said light is better. It gives a more clean look. So I think we'll do that. And we'll keep like the charcoal gray for what you guys said as well, like other parts. So like I think that's pretty good at being the dark gray. It's kind of like an accent and part of the main structure and doesn't really take away from things. So this is what I decided to do instead of what I had before. So instead of going straight up, I think to right here, and then we had some pathways along the side. I just decided to get rid of those. I don't know, maybe we could put them back, but I thought we could wrap around instead. So we're starting to get a layout, I think, going for the station. And if we imagine these pathways kind of going all the way around on the main floor, so right here we're already at a crease, right? So this is where it's going to fold, basically, along this line, right down the middle. So what we see here would be replicated over there. Actually, let's play around with the projector block. Okay, so Control B, and that should be platform, something. Maybe? Platform? No? Large ship? What do you want to be today? Oh, it's oh, right. I named it. Duh, it's not platform. Mobile base. There it is. MB1. Okay. Easy. So mobile base. Projector. In order to type up projector, one must spell projector. Okay, station. That's the one we want. So we'll turn that on. We'll change the blueprint to mmobile_base_1. And is it still rotated? It is. So let's keep that there for a second. That will kind of help visualize, I think. So you can kind of see what's going to happen here. So we'll zig down like this. I don't think the medbay is going to stay here. I did this kind of interesting because it's a top block and so is this scaffolding. I kind of wrapped some scaffold on the bottom. So there's a piece there and then it attaches underneath the other side. So it shouldn't look too bad when it's all said and done, I don't think. But I think we'll get rid of it. And maybe we should have some pathways going down to the lower level, like the mining level, some way to access down below. But otherwise, we could see this would go around. So that would go all the way. And then what we got to figure out is from here. So we want this to probably connect up with this at some point. Probably over here on the back side of the cargo containers. And then maybe we'd have a way to go higher up to the next levels. But I do kind of like the idea of having it mostly open so that we can freely move around inside, but also have some separation, but maybe more of this kind of stuff. Almost like a honeycomb type thing, so there'd be beams and whatnot going all over the place that you'd have to maneuver around if you did want to fly through it, or if you had a ship in here that you want to maneuver. So we'd still section off areas, but for the most part it would be fairly open. So I think I like that. I think we'll stick with how many refineries we have. I know they can cause lag and stuff like that, but since we're in single player, at least that's only going to impact us. And if they are too much, we can just turn them off, I hope. I know certain things, even having them in your world, can impact performance, but I'm assuming if we don't need them and we're not using them, they shouldn't do too much. So if we have 48, for example, it's not a huge deal if we're not using them. The bright side of having that many will be if we need to process stuff quickly, like we've run out of something or we're waiting on something, we could quickly kind of process it. Another suggestion is we could color code these guys for what ores we have them using. That's a good idea too. I like that. I don't want to get too colorful with it, but if we could find like a standard or a subtle color for each ore that we could use that still matches things, I think that would be good. The glass kind of worked out. I'm not sure. Like I said, standardize, but I think ideally I would like to, I don't know. So I like what this does. Oops. So I like these ramps and kind of the look they give. And I think we'll try putting some railing along the edges like we were doing. Where would it be? I don't think I can place it with what's available. But we'll see what we could do. Oh yeah, we could start like right there for our railing. So that would work. Okay. So I like what this looks like underneath with the ramps that meet up at this one spot. I think that looked pretty good. I also like what it does over here, though, and I almost feel it's a bit different. So you can see this guy connects on the edge, but this ramp does not. Technically, I think this ramp should be right here. It should end there, which would mean this thing should push forward one more. But if we do that, if we push this forward one more, it's no longer matching up with the seam. So we'd probably have to end it. So it's just one ramp down and then one block before this little platform. So I'm not sure if that's worth it just to make this look more like that, when I think this looks okay on its own. And it's a different intersection, so it's probably not a big deal. But it would be nice to have it kind of just standard. This is how it's done. There's no... We don't have to try to make it work for each area we try to put it in. It's just this is the way it goes, and we'd build stuff around it. Conveyor, I'm not too sure I like. I like it being underneath like that. And I tried to get a way to get into the refineries. I used to have it running over here, into the side, or I think into the bottom, and it split off here because we had the walkway splitting. But now the walkway doesn't split, so I figured it should go straight. And then expanding this guy, I tell you, I built stuff and destroyed stuff a lot of times. I don't like the coloring. That's for sure. I think we should just go light. The green, we might be able to work for just little accents, but for the most part, I don't think it works. So if we do that for color, the charcoal, again, I'm not too sure I like the charcoal on the ramps, but, so I got this section. The one thing I notice is it looks weird. I mean, it looks good on its own, but with the refineries there, it looks a little odd, because the refineries are all stacked to one side. So I'm not sure if that's bad or good. I mean, that aspect's bad, but I think we could still make it work and be okay, I think, once it's all said and done. The idea is right here, we're going to get close to the edge of the ship, I think. So we have this little walkway, and what I kind of want is you look out here, and we're going to have, I think, a giant window in front, kind of going up for quite a ways, if not all the way throughout the whole station to the top. I'm not too sure. Something along those lines. And then thrusters, I think we're going to have 2 rows of them somewhere along here. So we'll have thrusters along this ridge, and we'll have another row here. So those will be our sideways thrust. We'd have those on every side. And yeah, so I think this might work. If we just kind of flatten this whole area out. Because we're going to have refineries over here too. Let's see if we can figure out where they would be. I mean, where are they, guys? I wonder if I can figure out where they will be. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, so we have our reactors right here. I'm calling them reactors, aren't I? Refineries right here. So if we somehow figure out what we want to do to connect these two areas, we're going to have that storage. So the storage, if we make kind of this whole thing a giant platform, like what I'm thinking is this continues, so it doesn't look as out of place because it's a massive structure. So then it doesn't look like these things are off-centered, they just look like they're placed on this massive thing. So if we curve this around to meet up with this guy, either some kind of diagonal or even just a right angle there in the middle, and then we come back out. Not too sure. I would like to have, I think, a med base somewhere in the corners. So we've got 4 corners of the base, so I think we should put a med base somewhere in the corners. Just not quite sure where, and I don't really like how these two platforms connect diagonally like that. Don't think that looks really too good. So we'll figure something out. And then I don't know. I don't know if this is good. I don't like it. It kind of worked, but it's more just for show. I mean, functionally, it's not required to be this way. I was just trying to make something that looked kind of neat. And I arbitrarily made this long because I figured this would be roughly the edge of the ship, or it would start to be. So it would probably curve out a bit, maybe. But roughly, this would be the edge. And then for the ship itself, I think we're going to have kind of 2 layers. Oh, look at that. Box is different. It's not as bright. So I think I've been using mostly light armor. I think the entire exterior will be heavy armor. But that stuff's more expensive. So we'll have to wait till we got a better way of welding, because Tortwing's terrible. So maybe when we got Crown Molar in place, and she can weld many blocks at the same time. So this is a bad example when we got ores just like orbiting. They're not likely to get picked up, or it's going to take them a very long time. But again, I don't think it's too big of an issue. I think it's just as long as we're getting enough, as long as we're collecting what we need, I think it's okay if we waste some. Alright, well, I don't think we did anything today. We just kind of planned and looked at stuff. But I think we're getting there. So I still want to do our little gate system. And what we'll have to do... So we have our ores. And maybe we'll add in some more storage for the buffer. I mean, we could add in some more cargo containers going straight down. We could have these actually extended quite a bit, so they're outside of this. And we could actually seal those cargo containers inside a column, so that they're kind of hidden and protected. And what else was I thinking? I would like to make a little repair bay for Tortwing. So I'm thinking at this connector, or one of these connectors, we can make a little oven for him with some welders. And maybe a piston with the connector. So when we connect to him, we have the option of retracting the piston, which will pull Tortwing, assuming we turn off his dampeners probably, which will pull Tortwing into a little oven where he's got welders kind of on top and on the bottom of him. And that'll give him a little touch-up job for his little fly-by-touch incidences. So I think that might be fun. A fun little project. These guys are circling forever. Forever! Look at all the asteroids out there. Look at all of them. There isn't any. One day. One day. But there we go. We could start to see the station somewhat. Maybe you could start to visualize what this thing will look like to some extent. And yeah, any suggestions, ideas you guys have are always welcome. I don't think we'd be where we are or have what we have if it wasn't for your guys' suggestions. So yes, I very much appreciate them. Keep them coming. And let me know what you think about the exploration update and how you guys would like us to tackle that. If we should just fly away from this asteroid, and in doing so we shall enter into the exploration world. Alright. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next episode. Wait a second. We're not alone. That looks like nickel.